Hello, this is Malorian, and this is the Orc Tactical Team, and what I'm going to talk about today is Ogres in 8th. So, back in 7th, Ogres were one of the weaker armies out there, and so a lot of people are wondering how they're doing in 8th. And amazingly, if you go through a lot of the people that make their tiers of who's the best army of this edition, you still see ogres as being one of the lower tiers, which I find fairly amazing. Of course, I said the same thing about beasts, but I think they have a lot of pluses going for them. Starting off the bat, one of the things is that 8th is all about kills, right? Uh, Winning by static res, that's a thing of the past. You really need to have ranks so that you can deal with the steadfast issue, which is a weakness to ogres. However, in the end, it's kills that's really going to win you the day. And so when you have units that are all about that, how can you go wrong? Looking at what their units have, unfortunately, I find that the ogres got a little bit more boring in 8th. And the reason for that is because there's almost no reason to specialize. I mean, back in 7th, Iron Guts were really good. You had these really hard hitting units, and when you're dealing with a lot of things like knights and things, well, that was great, right? But however, now you're not seeing those knights, you're not seeing those high armor saves, and really all you want is just to get the best bang for your buck. And what that pretty much comes from is the just plain bulls, either just plain or maybe with extra hand weapon given the situation. I mean, other special units, say like man eaters or even gorgers, don't really find a place anymore as war machines are destroying them, and steadfast and the extra attacks are making the gorgers almost useless. And so you're really all you're seeing with them is just a whole bunch of bulls, just plain old bulls. And the reason why a lot of times you don't even want the extra hand weapon is because of how in ranks going further back for these monstrous infantry, you're only going to get the 3 attacks anyway. So when the unit gets big enough, why spend so many, well, 4 extra points per model so the guys in the front rank can have +1 attack? So might as well just have this a whole bunch of these 35-point ogres. And depending on the situation, it might be good to be going 3 wide and just trying to get a few more ranks so you don't have to deal with steadfast so much. Plus, like I talked about before, you can have it so that you're doing the little sneakiness where your front 3 models could be, say, like the standard bearer, your bellower, and then say your tyrant, and then hiding in the second rank is your slaughter master. So you can pull that sneakiness there. Really, if it was me, it'd all just be about the horde. 6 wide, as deep as you can handle given the points, and then just go smash them. You have so many attacks that when it comes to combat and steadfast, they're not going to be staying steadfast very long. And of course, you have those stomp attacks too. And the best thing about having these larger units is because of how the orc gut magic works, where it's really beefing up these units and putting up these buffs based on a unit basis. The +1 strength is amazing. I mean, can you imagine? You got 6x3 models attacking in a horde, so 18 guys times 3 attacks. If you turn all those from strength 4 to strength 5, amazing. You use the other spells so that they get +1 toughness and stubborn. Well, first of all, you don't have to worry about somebody doing a quick little attack on you and breaking you. And second of all, having that many toughness 5 wounds is almost impossible for a lot of armies to deal with. And seeing as how a lot of ones now are, strength 3 or whatever, I mean, it's a big deal to have that. And of course, regen or something like that, fantastic. While we're on the topic of magic, some of the other ones don't matter as much. Say like the Bone Breaker or the one that causes a panic test, but those unit buffs are just amazing. And another item, again, while we're on the topic, that was crap in 7th but amazing now in 8th, is that Cleaver one. That's the one where you do 1 wound to one of the ogres in the unit, and then you get an extra dice. And, of course, in 7th, it's like, well, why do you want to kill your own guys? But when all of a sudden in major combat, you're going to be giving them all +1 strength or any of those main buffs, that can be huge. And, of course, because you're just having so many guys, right? If you have a unit of just say 24 bulls. Who cares if I do one wound, right? Ogres are great at doing the whole spam trick of just doing a whole bunch of little spells and just overwhelming their opponent. So doing that one little stab means a whole nother spell. So I think with that synergy, just between with how amazingly effective those 35-point bulls are, and the fact how they don't even need the charge anymore. If who cares if they get hit by knights or something else first? They're going to be crushing things like crazy. Uh, for their characters, there's so many little sneaky things you can be throwing in there now. Now that they can take these magical shields, so often you're going to be seeing their characters with 2+ saves, or mixing those items so that they're -2 to hit. They can just be amazingly tough. You have that one helm that makes a unit stubborn. So again, there's a lot of trickery you can do with that one, and I think they should be doing a lot better than what the people are saying they are. And the reason why I think that these other people are putting ogres so low is actually, ironically, their magic system. And that's because it seems that there's put way too much into spells like Dweller Below, like Purple Sun, and they're all just in this idea that, when it comes to tournaments, it's all about the guy that gets up to your line, does Purple Sun, and haha, I've destroyed your army with this one spell. And obviously, since ogres don't even have access to that spell, well, they suck. Well, that's not the case. I mean, from what I've seen, those things don't really come up all that often, and even though they might, in say like an Ard Boys tournament type of situation, I still would see the ogres be doing very well overall and not as bad as they're saying. So how are ogres doing in 8th? I think they're doing, if nothing else, a lot better than they were in 7th, and people should be giving them a lot more credit. The only problem being that they're going to be a little bit more boring, because the majority of your army is just going to be a whole bunch of bullets supported by a couple of characters. So there you have it, and next time we're going to be talking about war machines really in general, but really kind of narrowing in on dwarf war machines. So see you then. Bye.